Hey guys, it's Elena. Recently I saw a video on Instagram where the artist had covered a canvas with foil and was then painting on top of that. I thought this was such a cool idea and I really wanted to try it out in a digital format in the Procreate app. So that's what I'll be showing you today. First starting out with a foil texture from my Gold Rush brush set and painting on top of it with watercolors from my watercolor brush set. And there are purchase links for both of those in the description, or you can experiment with this idea with whatever brushes you already have. So the artist on Instagram who inspired me is named Victor Baroni. I hope that I'm pronouncing that right. And my artwork didn't end up looking anything like his, but I'll go ahead and add a link in the description so that you can go and check out his amazing work as well. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So starting out, let's just make a new canvas. And my go-to size is 3000 by 2000. And I want to start with a gold texture. So I'm going to find my gold brush somewhere in here. Here we go. And this is a brush set that I sell, and the link for that will be in the description. So I'm going to find a foil texture in here that I might want to use. I think I'm just going to keep it simple and go with foil fill number 3. And I'll find a gold color now. So this is my Gold Rush color palette that also comes with a brush set. And I'm just going to check out maybe this color here. I'm just going to try to move a bit quickly. There we go. And let's make a new layer. Now I want to switch to my watercolors. This is another brush set that I sell, and it's a different one than Gold Rush. I just didn't have a gold foil. I do have some sparkle brushes in the watercolor set, but I didn't have a gold foil in here, so that's why I went to Gold Rush to get that. But from here on out, I do want to try and work with the watercolors. So thinking about colors. Okay, I've chosen this W&N Dark Colors color palette from the watercolor set. So this comes with the watercolor set. So with those colors chosen, I think that I want to start out with this bright red. And in the watercolor set, I wanted to go with the one called Mega Bloom because this one stands out really well on a background. I'm just first going to, in that brush, add color to various parts of the screen, and then I'll kind of blend it in, stuff like that later. So that's kind of interesting, kind of weird, but I'm not hating it. I'm trying to keep the really shiny bits of foil showing through. I was enjoying how the colors were going darker on each other, and that's one of the properties of this brush, Mega Bloom. However, I did want to switch brushes to the Bright Bloom accent because it actually shows up more on top. So I wanted to try that in this blue color. I'm just making the brush smaller here so that it's not huge. With that same brush, I'm switching to white, and I just want to see what happens if I add a bit of white. That is kind of interesting. It always seems like adding white just kind of gives things a different dimension. It's just one of my favorite go-to techniques. Just gonna kind of blend it in on itself and see what happens here. So using this back and forth motion with this brush, it gives it a more of a faded look. And most of these watercolor brushes do have that property because the more water you add to watercolor, the more it blurs. And so that's the bright bloom accent. So I'm still working on the bright bloom accent in white. And these areas that are just getting dark and murky, I'm just kind of adding. So now I wanted to go to a different brush called Directional Bloom Edger. I'm going to choose one of the darker colors here. So some of these edges that are kind of emerging here, 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 I just wanted to make those stronger with the directional brush. So if I'm going from a left to right direction, then it will come out on top. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I like how that's giving me a bit more of a strong edge. I just made the brush a little bit smaller here. So we definitely have some interesting colors going on here. It's very colorful in some areas. We have some well-defined edges and we have some foil peeking through. Overall, I think it's been kind of fun to experiment with this, and we're almost done, but I wanted to go ahead and add some splatters as well. So choosing our golden color here, I'm going to go still within the Amazing Watercolor brush set. There's a brush in that set called Light Splatter. So I'm just going to add a couple of strategic splatters just to see how that looks, because though I really like this well-defined edge, it's a bit too murky. So I just wanted to add a little bit of color on that. So we'll check that out. I like that very much. So continue very strategically adding light splatters here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and add a new layer actually, because I'm not sure that's really showing through. Yeah, it shows through better on its own layer. So we'll just continue adding the orange splatters on the top layer. I'm feeling like maybe we need some blue splatter. So I'm just going to see how that turns out. Okay, so I know I said that I was done, but I want to add just a few more accents and colors. I'm going to go with the large dark bloom brush that is in the watercolor set. I'm just going to experiment with a couple different colors and just add a little more color. I'm just going to experiment with which layers I put it on as well, and just try to see what looks best. I do want to kind of go back to this original layer and see if I can add some accent blooms there just to mess around with what's on that layer. So to add these little bits here, I did go back to this layer, which is where I added these defining lines. So generally I want to be working underneath of that so I don't lose those lines, but I just added a couple drips and drops to this blue that was also on that layer. So now I'm going back to the background again. Okay, so maybe what I just did there seems a little bit repetitive, but the main reason for it is just that these different bloom brushes all have different blend modes and different ways that they interact. And so this large dark bloom, I call it dark because it doesn't blend in with the color that's already there. It just kind of lands on top of it, which is kind of what we want in some of these cases. So I really wanted to just add some nice edges and nice splashes on here. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I think it's kind of a really fun concept. It's really fun to play around with the colors on top of foil, because generally what we do is we add the foil at the end, but actually we're doing it the opposite way around with this project. So this was really fun to experiment with. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you can get inspired to create something of your own. And if you like this and would like to see more like this, please be sure to like and subscribe. And I would really appreciate that. And thank you so much for watching. And I will see you next time.